We are now going to plan work for a culvert over at the coordinates 2,700 meters. To do so, proceed to the Insert Object toolbar, clicking on the Insert Task icon, and using the TILOS Explorer, click on the plus symbol next to the canalization folder, and by choosing in this specific case the culvert as a task, moving over to the main working area, using your left mouse button, draw or drag, for want of a better word, the task to a duration of 34 days. And you can see that the task is graphically appealing because we have basically over here in the preset toolbar, we can see that it has coordinates 2,700 to 2,750. We have done this intentionally, although the actual distance length is 0 meters, but we have agreed on the 50 meters width because it makes it graphically appealing. If we then go to the Details toolbar at the bottom of the screen, we can see that it is a normal task type. We will change this to Summary Task because this will then allow us to apply the top-down planning method for the purpose of this exercise. So by returning back to the actual culvert, if we click on the right mouse button and by choosing Open Summary in Gantt chart, we're now in the Gantt chart view, and by just going to the spacer, drawing the spacer over to the left hand side of our page, this will then give us a more appealing approach to our main working area, and it will also give us some room for manoeuvrability and some room to work in. We are now going to create a summary with the help of predefined tasks, and the easiest way to do this is using the Insert Object toolbar. So if I click on the Insert Task icon and moving to the bottom of the Insert Object tool by clicking on the Insert Lock tool, this enables me to choose as many tasks as I like without having to go back every time separately to the Insert Task icon. So if we choose, for example, diversion, and by dragging this task along the bar line, and basically just going back to the TILOS Explorer to choose the task that I would like, I can continue to plan graphically using my mouse. I will then choose pipeline. That's the next task. And it is also possible, this is worth a mention here, that tasks can also be inserted in the same bar line. For example, the diversion. If I would like to insert another diversion in the same bar line, this is possible as long as the actual diversion itself is actually meant to be in the same creek as the first one. It is also worth mentioning that the values, the coordinates that I have defined here will also be portrayed and displayed in the time location diagram. And if I want to complete my summary, I will do so by choosing the backfill. And let's not forget to go back to the Insert Object toolbar and basically unlocking our locking tool again. If I click on the main working area, I can see that I have created a summary in a hierarchical order in my Gantt chart without having to type in any information whatsoever, without using my keyboard, purely aided by my mouse. We are now going to link formerly unlinked tasks in a very swift and effective manner. If we use our left mouse button to drag a rectangle around the task that we have inserted in the Gantt chart, by releasing the button and clicking on the right mouse button, by choosing the option Linked, Unlinked Tasks, We can see now that the formerly unlinked tasks have now been linked with one another. And if we proceed to the Details toolbar at the bottom of the page, we can actually determine the lag between each specific task too. I'm now going to show you how the Gantt chart and the time location diagram interacts with one another. Let's proceed to the main menu, clicking on Window and choosing Tile Horizontal. We have successfully split the Gantt chart view and the time location diagram view into two separate screens. Now the reason I'm doing this is very simple. Let's click on the lower part of the screen for a moment, which depicts the time distance view. I would like to show the culvert because this is an important exercise visually in showing you how both the Gantt chart and the time location diagram actually interact with one another, i.e. when certain changes have been made above in the Gantt chart, they will be automatically updated and displayed in the time distance diagram below. The best way of showing you the visual impact of any changes is to click on the working area in the Gantt chart, and by choosing the backfill task, basically by moving the task either backwards or forwards, you can see how the visual impact is portrayed and displayed in the time location diagram below. Let me just repeat this for you, just in case you missed it. Please look at the culvert in the time distance diagram at the screen below, and you can see that any graphical changes made in the Gantt chart are automatically adopted in the time distance diagram below. Now let's look at the interaction between the time distance diagram and the Gantt chart. By clicking on the plus symbol above the culvert, you can actually open the summary as shown above. And if we proceed to the bottom of the summary, by clicking on backfill, we can then show you that the interaction in the time distance diagram is basically identical to the interaction in the Gantt chart. So if I basically change the distance of my backfill in the time location diagram, it is then automatically changed in the Gantt chart too. So this is a very easy way of keeping track of any amendments you make in either one or the other view. If you use a larger monitor, for example a 25-inch monitor, you can basically view different parts of your project, different views of your project, and again you will never lose track of any amendments you make. So let's close the Gantt chart view and open the time distance diagram view, and we will then go to the main toolbar, and we will choose the 100% screen view size before we proceed on to our next lesson.